Okay, I'm picking up here in video 5. I had to play around with the access a little bit. This more modern version is a little bit different than I'm used to. So I needed to kind of figure things out a little bit. Um, so I'm picking up here. We had some errors come up, and this is probably a good point to talk about the way things are saved in a database. So let's go back into our access here. At this point, we were here in the last video, and we were trying to do our relationships, um, our associations, as another way we refer to it, and linking our primary keys with our foreign keys. And we were getting into some errors that somebody else was using it. Well, the idea with Excel is that it's kind of like on your own computer. And I know that I learned some fancy techniques that you can basically they're kind of turning Excel into access to some ways because they're making it like a database so that multiple people can change things on a spreadsheet, which kind of new and fancy, and that's pretty cool. Um, but we kind of go over it pretty quick, so I didn't get as familiar with it as I should. But something to keep in mind. But that the idea with databases is that it is designed for multiple people to use. And so let's just, for example, jump over here to the customer. Now, what it was is that I had left it in this space right here, and I had left this thing highlighted, one of these things highlighted. So that means I'm using the cell, I'm using that database, that class, that table. And so while I'm using the table, nobody else is allowed to save or make changes to it because it would affect the way the data is stored. So it locks the things up and gives you those error codes because somebody else in the company or department that's using this database is also using it. In this case, it was me, myself, and I using it. So what I did is I switched to data view here, and now nothing's highlighted. And so I just went through here, switch all these things into the data view. Uh, so here, click over to data sheet view. Okay, so click all of them to data sheet view if you're having the same problems, and that should get rid of the error as I am. So we'll go back to our relationship, and what we wanted to do is to link our primary keys with our foreign keys. Now, this may be your primary key if you didn't make it like mine. So you would grab sales number to the sales number. Now, it doesn't matter that mine says PK and this says FK. Our names don't matter. What matters is us linking it together. So I'm going to grab my key and I'm going to drag it over here to this sales number FK. I click, I let go of my click mouse. I click in enforce integrities. This is where I get into the joinings, and I'm gonna have to pause the video again um, and review it. Again, your join types are here. I'm not able to get the screen to say one-to-one on there, but you choose which one you want. All records from tail sales and only records from inventory with the join fields are equal. All records from inventory and only the ones in, all right, or one-to-one. So I click here, but it keeps saying one-to-many. So click create, and then we get that error again. Okay, so table inventory is being used. So see if I can get it out of there. So inventory, oh, it's being used, see? So how do I get out of it? That's how I got out of it. I was working a minute ago. So it's kind of frustrating. That's new to me. All right, let's try it again. There to there. Create. There we go. That's what you should be getting. Okay. So now you've created a link, and what's kind of nice is, see, it follows it around. So you can see that where you are joined to that specifically. Um, that's at the top, so I can't really show you, but it will, that this is linked to that. Primary key in my case is the foreign key over here. So the names don't matter, as I said. Uh, what matters is that you link them properly here. Now we want this to show up like step number 4 and make all our relationships look like many to one and one to many. So I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit, and I will come back here shortly. But you want to start creating these links from your primary keys to your foreign keys, just like they do in the page. So I will just refresh myself on how to make these relationships better. But you can click on it. I know you can like double click. It opens up enforced integrity. Click OK, and I get that error again. That's weird. But you can change them around. I'm pretty sure maybe we can. It doesn't delete these by taking them out. These are just where you're working. It's a working thing. So let's just close these out and just work on see there. This is where my tables are really at. This is just there. So let's see if this solved it real quick before I do it again. So enforce. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's it. So it was being used up there. So by doing that, it closed it out, and now I'm not using it on myself. So we got a many here relationship, and we got a one relationship here, a one to many relationship. Um, so we want this to go to sale number here and enforce our integrity and click create. All right. So we've got a one to many relationship here. Now, one thing I would like to do is I want to change this, and now that I know from the picture that this is going to be my foreign key, I would open up my cash receipts table here, double click. All right, I like to go back into the design view, and under here, sales number, I'm going to make this an FK foreign key. Now, it's not recommended to do this later on when your database gets big, because little things like this can really start messing with things, especially if you start writing macros and stuff like that. But right now, while it's pretty fresh, you can make these changes right away. I'm looking at the picture. It looks like account number is also a foreign key. So I'm going to go ahead and put my FK there as well. And that looks like everything. Now, what I was saying is when you move from one cell to the next cell, it's usually saved for you. That's especially valid when you're in this format and you're typing in data for somebody. The moment you leave this cell and jump to this cell, it saves it to the database. You jump to this cell, it saves it to the database. Jump to this cell, it just saves it to the database. So you're not having to click save, save, save. But when you're designing something, then you do have to save it. And I guess while we're creating these relationships, you really need to close out so that it's not being in use. So we've added these foreign keys here. I'm gonna just kind of go through mine. Okay, I got my foreign key here, foreign key here. Customer number, cashier. Okay, so these are foreign keys too. I need to open him back up. All right, so sign view, customer number, foreign key. Cashier foreign key. Let's see here. Anything else? Those are primary key, primary key. I think that's everything now. All right. So just while in design view, you want to save and then close it out. All right. So now we've got all these foreign keys. So we want to go from the salesperson. Now, again, if you haven't done it separately like I did, you'll be going from this one to that one, and this won't be on there. But for me, I use this and I drag it over. So the salesperson goes to the salesperson number and enforce, create. All right. And you can drag them either way, this way, that way. So customer number goes to customer primary key, enforce, create. And this one also gets linked over here to the customer number, integrity, create, and cashier number goes to cashier number foreign key here. Enforce, create. All right. And one more. The cache primary key is going to go to the account number foreign key over here. Enforce integrity, create. So at the end, you have basically you've created all your relationships and you created your multiplicities. If you needed to make any changes or you messed up, again, you can double click on it, bring it back up here. You can change the types here. You can delete it just clicking right click and right click, click on delete. Right click, edit relationship is the same thing as double clicking. So that'll give you an idea. All right, well, that wraps up our chapter 4. So I'm going to stop my video here and I'll see if I can upload it into YouTube and get this over to you guys. I'll try to create videos in the further chapters to help you guys out as well. Again, I'm learning. I'm rusty. Thank you for your patience, and I hope these videos help you out so that you aren't so nervous about jumping in this. It's a lot of fun when you get used to it. But it can be very complex. Or this is a simple database, but you can notice how many links we've already got, associations and relationships. So it can start getting big to be pretty big quickly. And so it's important to really understand it, which is why the book wishes us to create the blueprints that we've done in our diagrams. So good luck, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.